Hello, sir. Kanchan, sir, your voice is not clear. Not voice not clear, sir. It's not audible. Check your mic, sir. You muted, sir. You muted. Unmute. Unmute, sir. You muted. Yeah.
Now, is it okay?
Yes, sir. It's fine. It's
Okay,
it's
okay,
okay, sir.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
We will start at 11 o'clock, sir. Still,
okay,
we
okay,
have 10 minutes are there.
okay, okay.
Right. Sir. Thank you. Yes, participants, please keep mute your audio and video. Swati madam. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yeah. Yes, madam. Start.
Okay, sir. Happy morning to everyone. My name is Swati. I'm an assistant professor of MBA department. It's a great honor for the Department of Business Management for organizing a one-day international level EFDP on tools and techniques for social science research through Google Meet and YouTube Live. It's my pride to have a salient introduction regarding our college. Mother Teresa College of Engineering and Technology was established in the year 1999. It has a well planned campus with a pollution free environment located at Peddapalli, Telangana. Our college enlightened the students from the past 22 years by providing courses like MTech, BTech, MBA, Diploma with various streams by making every student's dream come true. Under the great guidance of Dr. E. Upendra, the HOD of MBA department, we successfully organized nearly 6 national and international FDPs, webinars, and e-quizzes where we had an immense response from all over the world. We are fortunate to have such an estimated and eminent person with us for flourishing our fame all over. Now I request our FDP director, Dr. E. Upender sir, to share his views with us. Please, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much, madam. Yeah. Good morning, all. I am Dr. Rupender, director of the EFDP. On behalf of Department of Business Management, Mother Teresa College of Engineering and Technology, Peddapalli, Telangana, India, we welcome to you a one-day international EFD fun research tools and techniques for social science researcher. As a researcher, I believe that research is a continuous process. That's why every day we have to update research tools and techniques like SPSS, MS Excel, SAS, different techniques and different softwares are there. This objective leads to conduct this EFDP. I thanks to the resource person, my friend Kanchan sir, the Kanchan Datta, associate professor in Northwest Bengal University, and all the participants who registered our EFDP and my management and my staff. Thank you all. Thank you, madam. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. It's my honor to introduce such an eminent resource person working as an associate professor in the Department of Economics at University of North Bengal. He is a dabster in econometrics and passionate about development economics. He supervised PhD and MPhil students, having 9 years teaching experience of UG students and 7 years teaching experience for the PG students. He is a member in editorial board of journal Economic Affairs in New Delhi. He always been first in his educational era, packed up university medal for achieving first class in his BA Economics and first in MA Economics. He published nearly 30 national and international journals, 2 books, 9 book chapters, and some of his selective publications are Twin Deficits Phenomenon in SAARC countries, an econometric inquiry, various applied issues on Indian economy published by Abhijit Publication, Macro Econometrics with a special reference to the economy of India. These are just few pearls of his publications. Now I welcome eminent resource person Dr. Kanchan Datta to share his knowledge with us. Please, sir, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
First of all, I would like to express my great sense of gratitude to my friend, Professor Upender, for giving me this opportunity to speak something on tools and techniques that are essential for special social science research, especially economics, since I do belong to economics department. And the entire team of Mother Teresa College of Engineering and Technology. Friends, when I was the student of PG, I also couldn't understand how to prepare a research paper. In our time, some journals, Civil Service Chronicles, Competition Master, Competition Refresher, this type of journals are available. So I thought, if I want to prepare one paper, so if I take some portion from this journal, some portion from this journal, and if I add this, then that may be a new paper or something like this. Today, I understood, okay, if by compiling from different sources, if we prepare a new thing, that is also a paper, but with respect to its glamour and weight, to what extent it will be treated as a research paper. So some applications of tools or econometric or statistical techniques enhances the glamour and weight of research paper. So I have divided the lecture into two parts. The first part is related to the importance of research, the significance of research, something like this. And another part, how we can able to perform, conduct with respect to Excel software, with respect to SPSS software, with respect to Stata software. Now the question is, do we have the access of these software, especially SPSS, Stata? If we don't have the access in our university, college, or lab, then nowadays not the latest version, but the old version, previous versions are available. You can download it. At least 99% or 95% of your problem may be solved through the download of this software. Now, as you know, research implies some selection of some issues, some topics. If you depend, okay, I cannot able to select my topic, on what topic I want to proceed, it is not clear to me, let's depend on my supervisor or mentor. Now my suggestion is, mentor can give you the topic, but after 1 month or 2 months you may feel that, oh, I'm not getting interest on this topic, let's change this topic. That is very dangerous. So my suggestion is, it is better if you can select the issue, the topic, that is your research topic, by yourself. Now the question is, how can we select? There is no shortcut method to select this topic. You have to go through extensive reading of the international quality journals, standard journals. Suppose, for example, you take EPW. You just read one paper, one research paper. You can learn many things. In this way, just by looking the different articles, just by reading different articles, the article that will stuck to your mind, hit your mind, you can select that topic. Okay, I can proceed on the basis of this topic. Now the question is, there are many researchers or economists who are interested in what is happening in US economy, what is the revenue of US economy, what is happening in China's economy. Now the question is, if we do not think about our own area, about our own people, about our local people, about our local resources, how to utilize these resources, how to reduce the inequality, how to reduce the poverty of our own area, who will think for us? Who will think for us? There may be a lot of economists, lot of researchers who can think for US economy. But if we do not think about our own area, our own district, our own state, our own nation, who will think? So it is better to select some topic that will enhance the improvement of your own area. This is my suggestion. Number two, for selecting the issue, you have to think that how the society will be benefited if I go through the research on this issue. So what is the importance? So that is also important thing. So it's for selection of topic. Next, your task is this: is there anybody who already thought, done work on this issue, maybe not in your area, maybe in other countries, in other states or other districts? So you have issue. This is literature review. So literature review is also important part of research activities. If you read the literature review, you will get the idea that what tools, what type of tools, what type of variables is needed to conduct research on this particular issue, or what are the different techniques that may be applicable, what are the data that are needed. So your next task, can I able to collect this data, can these data are available? So data sources are very important. Availability of data sources. If you do not get any data, but you have selected the topic, then you cannot able to proceed because of lack of data. So after selecting the issue, you have to select, you have to search whether the data, especially the secondary source. So these are the very essential things. So first is the selection of issue, and then go through the literature, then the availability of data. These are the essential things for conducting any research. Now I am showing some important thing uh, that is related to research. The question is, what is research? In simple term, research means a search for knowledge, a movement from known to the unknown. One can also define research as a scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on the specific topic. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. Advanced Learners Dictionaries, according to this dictionary, a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts. Research comprises defining and redefining problems, formulating hypotheses, collecting, organizing, and evaluating data. So what are the objectives of which is hidden and which has not been discovered as yet? So it implies, after going through the literature survey, you have to find out that which portion that will be your value addition. So remember, value addition in your research work is very important. What value you have added in your research work to gain familiarity with a phenomenon or to achieve new insights into it? These are known as exploratory or formulative research studies. To portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or group, this is descriptive research studies. To determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is variables, hypothesis research. Now, motivation of research. Why should we go for research? Desire to get a research degree along with a consequential benefits. desire to face the challenge in solving the unsolved problem, that is concern over practical problems, initiates research. Desire to get intellectual joy of doing some creative work. Unless you enjoy your work, it will be a troublesome activity, boring activity. So whenever or whatever may be your topic, you think that is the most important topic in the world and you can enjoy. Unless you enjoy, you cannot able to proceed. Desire to be of service to the society, a desire to get respectability. However, this is not an exhaustive list of factors motivating people to undertake research studies. Many more factors, such as directives of the government, employment conditions, curiosity about thinking and acting, etc., all motivate people to perform research operations. We, the researcher, our main aim is to highlight what the existing problems are going on, what the government can able to do, what so policy recommendations we can do up to this extent. Now, whether our policy recommendations will be recommended finally by the central authority or not, that will be, or the government will not, that will be on the basis of the government's decision. Fundamental, quantitative, qualitative, conceptual, empirical, and some other types of research. Just going to just have a look. Actually, descriptive research means just conducting surveys and fact-finding inquiries. The applied research means finding a solution for an immediate problem that facing a society or business organization. Fundamental research is mainly concerned with generalizations and with the formulation of a theory. Quantitative research is based on the measurement of quantity or amount. Qualitative research, on the other hand, is concerned with qualitative phenomenon. For instance, when we are interested in investigating the reasons for human behavior, why people think or do certain things. Conceptual research is that related to some abstract ideas or theories. It is generally used by philosophers and thinkers to develop new concepts or to reinterpret existing ones. So research, don't think, so research in social science implies you have to invent new thing that is not done, but you can rethink, reinterpret the existing one also. The empirical research relies on experience or observation alone, often without due regard for system and theory. It is based on research. Similarly, laboratory research, we know it's often, sometimes we are moving to Hyderabad. A lot of research activities are there related to improvement of liver transplantation. So lab research are going on. Research approaches. The above description of the types of research brings to light the fact that there are two basic approaches. Number one, quantitative approach and qualitative approach. In quantitative approach, and again further classified into inferential, experimental, and simulation. The purpose of inferential approach to research is to form a database from which we infer the characteristics or relationship of population. We know we can conduct survey, we can collect data, that is our sample data. We apply some statistical tool on the sample data, and on the basis of sample result, we have to infer or generalize for the whole population. This is also known as statistical inference. It is inferential approach. Experimental approach is characterized by greater control over the research environment. For example, if we take two groups of women prior to their pregnancy, one group is given folic acid tablet and other essential drugs that is relevant, folic acids or other things. Now, it may be observed that those who are taking that appropriate medicines, folic acids and other things, the birth defect are much more less than those who have not taken. So this type of research is experimental approach. Similarly, simulation approach involves the construction of an artificial environment, mission Mars, with which relevant information and data can be generated. Given the values of initial conditions, parameters, and exogenous variables, a simulation is run to represent the behavior of the process over time. Simulation approach can also be useful in building models for understanding future conditions. Now, the significance, look one thing, all progress is born of inquiry. Doubt is often better than overconfidence, remember, for it leads to inquiry, more doubt, more inquiry, and inquiry leads to invention. This is not my word, this is the word of Hudson Maxim. Increased amount of research make progress possible. The research promotes the development of logical habits of thinking and organization. Research as an aid to economic policy has gained added importance, both government and business. So decision making may not be a part of research, but research certainly facilitates the decisions of the policymaker. In addition to what has been stated, the significance of research can also be understood to those students who are to write a master's or PhD thesis. Research may mean a careerism or a way to attain a high position in the social structure. To professionals in research methodology, research may mean a source of livelihood. To philosophers and thinkers, research may mean the outlet for new ideas and insights. Thus, research is the fountain of knowledge for the sake of knowledge and an important source of providing guidelines for solving different business, governmental, and social problems. It is a sort of formal training which enables one to understand the new developments in one's field in a better way. Research methods and methodology. Sometimes we feel that these two are same. Research methods, tools and techniques, and methodology. No. Actually, research methods may be understood as all those methods, techniques that are used for condition of research. In other words, all those methods which are used by the researcher during the course of studying his research problem are termed as research methods, but research methodology is a way to systematically solve the research problem. It may be understood as a science of studying how research is done scientifically. Now, the question is, researchers not only need to know how to develop certain indices or tests, how to calculate the mean, a mode or median or statistical deviation, standard deviation or chi-square statistic, but how to apply particular research technique. And they also need to know which of these methods or techniques are relevant and which are not, why not, and what would they mean and indicate, and why. Why I am going to applying this, why not I am going to applying another things. So these are most important things as research methodology. So research process, just I told, one should remember that the various steps involved in a research process are not mutually exclusive, nor they are separate and distinct. They do not necessarily follow each other in any specific order, and the researcher has to be constantly anticipating at each step in the research process the requirements of the subsequent steps. However, the following order concerning various steps provides a useful procedural guideline regarding the research process. Formulating the research problem, just I told already. Extensive literature, developing the hypothesis. Hypothesis means a retained statement, a testable proposition. Determining sample design, collecting the data, analysis of data, hypothesis testing, and generalizations and interpretation, preparation of the report and or presentation of the result. That means formal write-up of summary and conclusion. And the most important, another important thing is references. Generally, we ignore reference because this is a very easy thing. But no, please take care whenever you are preparing references or bibliography. Whenever from the very beginning you start to read any paper, any article, you write in separate paper that this is the source of article, this is the written by this, in this year it is published, which journal it is published, because one particular style you have to adopt in the preparation of the bibliography. This is very, very important thing. So this is in terms of flowchart, it is shown how the research process is done. Now, before collecting the sample, look one thing, whenever we are going to investigate all the households, we know this in the classroom also, we teach that what is universal population, and that is census inquiry. The central government can only able to conduct this census inquiry every after 10 years, but we, the individuals, can't able to do because of lack of money, lack of labor, lack of time, everything. So we have to depend on sample. Now the question is how to design, how to collect this sample. What will be the sample size? Whether the samples are taken follow the normal distribution, because unless it does not follow the normal distribution, to what extent our P statistic, F statistic will be valid. So these are the important things you have to consider. So before collecting the sample, you have to, theoretically some tools are there. What are the different types of sample? How can we collect this sample? That is probability, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling, multi-stage means the amalgamation of previous multi-stage sampling. Similarly, non-probability or non-random, which does not depend on probability, judgment sampling, convenience sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling. In any book on research methodology or basic statistics, you can get the idea regarding the different the types of sampling technique. But still, some importance are deliberate sampling. The deliberate sampling is also known as purposive or non-probability sampling. This sampling method involves purposive or deliberate selection of particular units of the universe for constituting a sample which represents the universe. When population elements are selected for inclusion in the sample based on ease of access, it can be called convenience sampling. Similarly, judgment sampling, the researcher's judgment is used for selecting the items. In the class, sometimes we ask that please tell or something like this, because we know that this student can be able to give the answer. He considers as representative of the population. Quota, in stratified sampling, the cost of taking random samples from individual strata is often misleading. Hence, interviewers are simply given quota to be filled from different strata. This is called quota sampling. Multi-stage is the summation of all. Now, suppose you don't have any software, but you have your Excel, MS Excel. Now, one thing, data analysis is hidden in your Excel. You have to extract the Excel. How can you extract? So go to the upper left-hand corner of the spreadsheet and hit this button. Just showing this one in Excel. Suppose this button, hit this button, come to Excel option, then adds in. Okay. After that, analysis toolpack, click OK, you will get data analysis like this. Data analysis. This data analysis will come to your Excel. So in this way, you can able to extract the data analysis data analysis tool pack in your Excel. Now, the total lecture will be devoted for how to calculate one-way ANOVA. ANOVA means analysis of variance. Two-factor ANOVA without replication. Two-factor ANOVA with replication. Two-sample t-test for comparing population mean. Two-sample f-test for testing equal population variance. T-test for paired sample. Correlation matrix. Sample size determination. Regression. Random number generation. Chi-square test. Chi-square independent test. All these can be done in data analysis tool pack. After that, we are coming to professional software, SPSS, Stata, like this. Just have a look regarding the different types of data. We know that this is primary data that we can collect through our survey, primary data, and the published data. That means if we go through the RBI website, all the data related to Indian economy, macroeconomy, this secondary data. Similarly, time series data, when the time varies, the value of the variable is fixed, time series data. Similarly, cross-section data, when the data collected at a particular point of time, that is cross-section data. Pooled data, if we pool this time series and cross-section, then it is known as pooled data. There is a little bit difference between pooled data and panel data. It is also the combination of time series data and cross-section data, but you have to select the same cross-section unit, same industries, 5 industries and their production in last 5 years, 5 nations and their GDP in last 10 years. So this is panel data. Similarly, ratio scale data that we generally use continuous type data. Interval data sometimes we use for especially it is used in management, factor analysis. We want to know the behavior of the individual, consumer behavior. How do you like, how do you get the marks from 1 to 5, disagree, agree, neutral, agree, strongly agree, in this way, interval scale data. Similarly, ordinal scale data, whether it is low development, medium level of development, or high level of development, or very high level of development. We know on the basis of HDI value, the UNDP's report, if you see the UNDP's report, it is given that very low level of development, the nations with very low level of development. Similarly, low level, high level, medium level, very high level of development. In this way, nominal, we cannot able to classify male, female gender, male, female, Hindu, Muslims. In this way, we cannot able to quantify. Generally, we quantify in terms of dummy variable data. Census population, all the data, and sample means some kind of data. Now, I'm coming to the Excel software. Look, this is ANOVA one factor. Here it is taken that A, B, C, D are location. Suppose 4 districts, and this is the production of any agricultural product or something like this. Production from each district. Now, ANOVA means there may be variation within the district, or you can say that in the pandemic situation, this is the different continents, and this is the amount of death in different states of this continent, amount of death. So there is some variation among the location, among the continents, among the nations. Similarly, there is variation within the nation, within the continent, within that particular district. It may be agricultural production or whatever may be the values of the variable in your study. So the ANOVA tells you whether the variation among the sample divided by variation within the sample. If the variation among the sample is higher than within the sample, then it implies F statistic is significant. Significant means there exists mean difference among the locations, among the different districts. Since we are considering from one factor, that is why it is known as one-way ANOVA. One factor means only we are considering due to locational difference, the production also differs. So this is one way. How can we contact this one? You go to data analysis, Everything is given in your computer. ANOVA single factor, click ANOVA single factor, okay. Input range, you have to give input range from A to this input range. Since we have taken the first row, you have to click here labels in the first row. Click OK. Okay, the result has come. The result has come. Between groups, within groups, the ratio F statistic 4.91. P value, probability value is also given. Remember, if this value is less than 0.05, then it implies significant. Significant means we can reject our null hypothesis. If this value is hypothesis, our null hypothesis is there is no mean difference due to location. There is no difference due to location. So this is rejected. So that means there is some difference in the location, or there is some difference in different continents regarding the number of infections or recovery or death, whatever may be the variable. Now we are considering two-way. That means we are considering two factors. One is location, another is suppose seed type. Seed type. Okay. So how can you conduct? You have to proceed in the same way. Go to data analysis. And this is known as two-factor without replications. Without replications means the data is taken from one location and one seed once. Okay, without, click here, ANOVA 2A without replication. Okay. Now give input range like previous one. Give input range. Label. Click OK. The result has come. Now due to row means seed type, column means location. So both the values, significant. So this means there exists mean difference from both the angles due to seed variety, due to location variety, soil variety, both different. Similarly, two-way or two-factor ANOVA with replications, you have to proceed in the same way. With replications means we have collected 4 samples from seed 1, 4 samples for seed 2, seed 3, seed 4. Another important thing is you have to, if you take 3 from seed 1, 4 from seed 2, the software does not work. You have to take equal number, 4, 4, 4, 4. Why? I'm just showing you. With replication, go to with replication, ANOVA 2-factor with replication, click OK. Okay, give the input range. This is the input range. Okay, rows per sample. Here you have to write rows per sample. If there is a deviation, you cannot write 3 or 4 or something. Rows per sample. The result. This is the result. All the results will come. Now you have to explain on the basis of the previous one. Okay. Now, coming to two sample, assuming equal variance. You have taken 2 samples. Suppose in the All India Medical Entrance, this is the number of students got chance who have ICSC background, number of students who have the CBSE background. We have some hypotheses that generally CBSE students get the higher possibility of getting chance in joint entrance medical exams rather than the ICSC. So you can collect data from different states, and we have to compare, assuming equal variance. So we are assuming equal variance, but we can test whether equal variance means variance in the population. Variance in the population are equal. Okay, we are going to investigate, does there exist any mean difference of getting opportunity in the medical exam in the population, taking from this sample. This is the sample. Similarly, go to data analysis. Okay, F statistic, F test for 2 sample. Click here, F test for 2 sample variance. Click OK. Okay. Variable 1 range here. Similarly, click here, variable 2 range here. Labels, since we have highlighted the, click OK. Look the result. F value, P value. P value is 0.18. That means we have to accept the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis means that there is no difference in the variance in the population. Now we have to go through the equal variance. That means equal variance is correct. Now we have to go through, does there exist any mean difference? Go to data analysis. So two factor coming here. Two sample assuming equal variance. T-test, two sample assuming equal variance. Click OK. Input variable data 1 range. Similarly, data 2 range. Difference, no difference means 0. Put here 0. Click OK. This is the result. Result is like this, p value, one sample p value. P value is 0.03. That means we have to reject the null hypothesis. And the t statistics is positive. That means that there is a difference of mean among the two persons are coming from ICSE background, have the higher. All these are hypothetical data. Don't take it as seriously. So you, on the basis of collection of your data, actual data, that result will differ. But this is hypothetical data. Paired sample. Sometimes two companies fertilizer, company A, company B. Or suppose we are using two companies petrol. One is Indian Oil, another is Reliance Oil. And we are using that per liter mileage. In this way also, we can compare. So which provides, does there exist any difference due to fertilizer? This is known as for paired sample. The same individual is using the two different products. Okay, and how can we calculate the difference of fertilizer exists or not? Okay, go to data analysis, go to the paired two sample means. Click OK. Everything is given in your software. So variable 1 range, variable 1, click here, variable 2, click here. Okay, label, hypothesize mean difference, assuming that there is no difference, whatever may be the company, that this provides equal yields. Okay, click OK. The result shows the t statistics is 0.79 and p value is 0.22. This implies that there is really no difference among the two companies fertilizer. In this way, we can able to test for paired sample. Similarly, we can able to test, does there exist any difference in mileage of Indian Oil and the Reliance Oil or Assam Oil? Okay, so using the same individual, the two companies petrol. Similarly, if we select 15 individuals, then we can able to compare which one is. Now we are going to calculate the correlation matrix. That is also very basic thing, but important thing also. Suppose we want to investigate the degree of linear association exists or not within daily wages, the education level, the experience level, age level. Okay, you can conduct your research by collecting the data on Toto Pular or Auto Pular, how you are earning per day, what is your education, for how many years you are just pulling this Toto or Auto, and your age, also important factor. So how can we calculate the correlation matrix? So go to data analysis, here correlation, click correlation. Okay, click OK. The input range, give the input range from here to here. Label in the first row. Click OK. This is the correlation matrix, but The important thing is just to show this degree of linear association is not sufficient. What you have to do, you have to calculate the p-value as well as p-value, the probability value, p-value. Otherwise, this correlation does not make any sense. So how you can proceed? Copy this one, paste this one. Okay, now we don't need this one. Don't need this one. We have to calculate t value equals to, the formula is here. Look, the formula is t value r into, r means correlation coefficient, into square root of n minus 2 by 1 minus r square. Okay, 1 minus r square. Therefore, r means this value, click this one, r into square root of SQ square root, just click SQ square root of 1 minus, just square root of n minus 2, square root of n minus 2. N means how many variables are there? N means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. N minus 2, that means 6. Okay, that means 6. N minus 2 means 6. 6. Okay, divided by 1 minus r square. 1 minus this value square. You will get this value. Now just click and drag, you will get the other values also. Okay, other value. Now take this value, again copy, click here. We don't need this value, we have to calculate this value, p value. P value is calculated with t distribution. Like t distribution it will come. T distribution. Now the value of t, here it is t value, comma, degrees of freedom 6, comma, 2 tail, just like 2, right, 2, not 2 tail, 2, it will come. This is the p value. In this way we can calculate, p value. Sometimes it will come, no, just this is negative sign, just put here negative sign, it will come. Similarly, the other values also will, here it is positive, it has negative, so reduce the negative sign, eradicate the negative sign, it will come. So in this way we can calculate the correlation matrix. Now on the basis of this value, whether it is less than 0.05 or not, we can able to show that this value is significant because it is less than 0.02. That means this value is significant. You can highlight this one. So this value is significant. So significant, daily wage and education are significantly related. In this way we can able to calculate the correlation matrix. Now random number generation is coming to this point. This is the sample size determination. This is also important thing. So many techniques are developed, but this I feel that this is the easiest one. The sample size is determined in 2 steps. Calculate the sample size for infinite population and adjust the sample size to required population. Sample size for infinite population is equals to z square, z interval, z square into p. P means the population proportion, and 1 minus p divided by e square. E is the margin, error margin. Now the question is Z. You know Z for 95% confidence interval. If you see the normal table, you can see for 95% that means 0.05. That means for two tails 0.025. The value for normal score is 1.96. 0.25 alpha value is 0.025. Okay, 0.025 covered in the normal distribution when the value of the Z score is 1.92, 1.96. So this is squares. And population proportion. From your survey, you know that out of 100 cases, you are going to investigate some master degree qualification for the AC students or something like this. You saw out of 100 that 45 students have got master degree or something like this. So you are getting the sample proportion, or if you have the data on proportion, it is okay. But if you don't have the data on population proportion, you generally use 50%. So instead of this, we can write 0.5, 50% into 1 minus 0.5, and error margin. This is error. How much margin of error we can able to keep? This depends on you. If you want to keep it as 2%, it will be 0.02. If you want to keep 3%, 4%, in this way, 0.05. It depends on you. So what will be the sample size for the infinite population? To some extent, it depends on you. Now, after getting this sample, suppose you know you are going to investigate where the population is 1 lakh population is there. So how to adjust for that number of population? You have to put this formula. The sample size is equals to the number of sample for the infinite population 384.16 divided by 1 plus 384.16 minus 1 divided by 1 lakh. It will be 383. Sometimes in any research work, people are doing in this way, okay, collecting sample in this way, but without any scientific measure. How you have collected the sample? What will be the suitable number of sample size? That is very, very important. And regression analysis, you also can run regression through your that means Excel. Okay. Suppose you click here, data analysis, regression, click regression. Okay. What is your dependent variable Y? Suppose daily wages is your dependent variable. What is your independent variable? Suppose these are your independent variable. Label. Okay. Click OK. This is the result. On the basis of p-value, you can able to take which one is significantly affecting. This is the estimated coefficient. This is the standard error. Remember, estimated coefficient divided by standard error is the t statistic. Estimated coefficient is the normal variable. So if we divide by, and this is square of the normal variable, standard error, square of the normal variable. So this is chi-square variable. Square of the normal variable is chi-square. So standard error is chi-square variate. When we divide by normal variable by chi-square variable, it becomes t-variate. That is where t distribution. T-variate follows t distribution. So t statistic. P, this is type 1 error, probability, p value type 1 error. That means the probability, that means our decision, there is some 5% chance that our decision is wrong, but 95% cases we are right. So if we take the decision that this is significantly affecting 95% cases, we are right. Maybe 5% cases we are wrong on the basis of p value. In this way, we interpret the regression analysis. Now, coming to my slides again. Chi-square test. Chi-square test is very, very important in research. Though this is a simple, small, but small is beautiful. Remember, we don't need to go for very dangerous, very complex, complicated the optimization in which we could not understand something. We should not go for that forecasting. So many terms are there, arch, GARCH, but we cannot sometimes able to feel. So you should apply that tool, that technique, which you feel better. That is why I always suggest to my students, you should do work that will be based on primary survey, because in the primary survey, whenever you have some face-to-face conversation, you can feel their problem. You can talk something at the time of seminar or something like this, unless rather than compared to if you go through the share market, ups and downs of share market, to what extent it will affect your heart or something like this. You cannot feel, you cannot touch that phenomenon. That is why it is better, my suggestion, my personal opinion, to go for the research work that is related to primary data. Now, now I told that chi-square test was developed by Carl Pearson in 1900, and Greek letter chi is pronounced. When a variable is made by taking the sum of squares of some standard normal variable, the distribution that follows the new variable is chi-square distribution. So it is the sum of the square of the standard normal variate associated with its degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is nothing but how many term you have added, how many squares of standard normal variable you have added. That is the degrees of freedom. And it looks right, slightly rightly skewed, though its shape depends on the degrees of freedom. As degrees of freedom increases, it looks like standard normal distribution. Being a sum of sorts from origin, and the total area under the PDF of chi-square distribution equal to 1. The importance of Pearson's chi-square distribution is that the researcher can use statistical methods because it does not depend on normal distribution to interpret the findings. Hence, it may be treated in the category of non-parametric test. So remember, chi-square test is a non-parametric test. Suppose the central government publishes a report about the percentage of recruitment in different sectors. It is written 2000, suppose it is in 2010 or 2015, in terms of relative frequency distribution in India. Suppose defense sector 0.52 relative frequency or 0.52%, bank 0.25, education 0.15, health 0.08. Now, suppose through your primary survey of your state, of your district, you have collected this data that 15% got chance in defense, 20% got chance in job in bank. Similarly, in schools or colleges, 6. In health sector, 9. So out of 50 sample, you got this data. Now the question is, your hypothesis is, how can you decide that the employment in your own area or state where from you have collected follow the national pattern or standard? How can we proceed? You have to calculate. One thing I forgot to say, that chi-square statistic is one of the important factor in chi-square distribution, and chi-square statistics can be calculated in this way. O means observed value, E means expected value divided by E. This is the statistic, and we can use Excel for the calculation of chi-square statistic. So this is your observed frequency in your own area that you have collected from your sample. Now you have to calculate the expected frequency. How do you have to calculate? You have to calculate on the basis of relative frequency, central government's given data, relative frequency. Out of 50, what should be, what is expected to be in the defense, what is expected to be in the bank. In this way, you can collect the expected frequency. Okay. Now, after getting relative frequency, observed frequency, and expected frequency, okay. So this is chi-square. Suppose this is your actual observation, this is your expected observation. Okay. How can you proceed as chi-square test? Go to data analysis, go to, oh sorry, not data analysis, you have to go to formula, insert function. This is statistical. Click here, statistical. Okay, now chi-square. You have to chi-square test. Click here, chi-square test. The actual range. Which one is actual range? Suppose this is your actual value. Okay, click here, your expected value. This is your expected value. Okay, so your value is 19. Where it is, it has come. It is 0.1944. You just write this value in separate page because it will not show later on. 0.1944. 5, suppose 0.195. Okay, now what you have to do, go for chi-square interval, chi-square interval 96, and degrees of freedom n minus 1, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 means 5. So your value, chi-square value is 7.36, 7.368, your chi-square statistic value. Now you have to compare this with your table value. Table value is given or not? Okay, table value is given. Okay, so on the basis of table value you can compare. In the internet you can search what is the chi-square table. Table value, the values are given with respect to degrees of freedom are given. You have to search 5 degrees of freedom and what is the value of chi-square statistic for the level of significance 0.05, 5% level of significance. If you see that this value is greater than the table value, we have to reject the null hypothesis. If you see that the calculated, this is known as calculated chi-square statistic, is less than the table value, we have to accept the null hypothesis. Similarly, suppose Indian Automobile Manufacturers Association compiles data on Indian car sales by type of car. Following table shows the distribution in the year 2010. Small car, SUV, large car, luxury car, commercial vehicle, the percentage in terms of percentage. A random sample of last year's car sale in India yielded the following data. Okay, number of cars, the following data. So now you have to proceed. You have to calculate that at 5% level of significance. Do these data provide sufficient evidence to conclude that last year's type of car distribution in India, car sales differs from this? You have to proceed in the same way. You have to, this is your actual observation. You have to calculate observed frequency on the basis of total number of car into multiplied by total number of sample is 300 multiplied by 34.5%. In this way, you have to calculate expected value and proceed in this same way. Okay. Next is chi-square independence test. That is also very, very important test. The chi-square, I'm showing clearly, chi-square independent test is used to decide the existence or the association between two variables. The association between two variables of a population. Naturally, the null hypothesis supports the negation of any association, and the alternative hypothesis supports the association among the variables. Suppose density of population, okay, low, medium, high, very high. If you get some theoretical value, how we can calculate that that this is low level of density or medium, or you can prepare by your own intuition that this may be treated as low level of density, this may be treated on medium level of density, this level of density high, very high. Similarly, the number of crimes, different types of crimes, that breaking of traffic rules, pickpockets, theft, murder. Now our hypothesis is, does there exist any association between the density of population and the traffic and the various crimes of a city? This is an association. How can you proceed? You have to proceed. The steps are written here. The first step, you have to calculate. You have to formulate the contingency table by grouping two variables. When the bivariate data are distributed with respect to frequencies, is known as contingency table or two-way table. Step 2, calculate the row total and column total. You have to calculate the row total, okay, row total and column total. Row total and column total. You have to calculate this first. Then you have to calculate the expected frequency. How can you calculate the expected frequency? Suppose coming to this cell, the row total is 169 into column total is 99 divided by sample size 524. You will get this value. Similarly, for this cell, the row total is 169, column total is 115. So 169 into 115 divided by 524, you will get this value. So after getting actual value and expected value, you have to proceed in the same way. If the calculated F statistic exceeds the table value, we have to reject the null hypothesis. If, on the other hand, if the calculated chi-square statistic is less than, we have to accept the null hypothesis. Now the question is, how can we calculate the degrees of freedom? Here, the degrees of freedom is in the row minus 1, number of row means 1, 2, 3, 4 rows are there. So 4 minus 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 columns are there. So 4 minus 1, 3. So 3 into 3, row minus 1 into column minus 1. 3 into 3, we have to calculate the degrees of freedom in this way. If such 9 degrees of freedom at 0.05 level of significance, what is the chi-square value, table value? In this way, we can proceed. This is very, very important in social science research, chi-square statistic. Now, coming to another thing, suppose just I told that you are going to investigate some socio-economic activities of the topolar or autopolar. You can classify their income level. Low, maybe less than 400 per day. Moderate, maybe 400 to 500 rupees per day. Standard, more than 500. Similarly, age structure, up to young, between age and income, you can able to apply the chi-square statistic. Okay, similarly, here, the income structure is this, the education structure is this. Education, illiterate, primary, madhyamik, HS and above. Does there exist any association between education and income? You can apply chi-square statistic for calculating, for solving this type of problem. Now, one important thing is ordinal logistic regression. Remember, when we use dependent variable is continuous, we can apply the OLS regression. But if the dependent variable is dichotomous, binary, we cannot able to apply OLS because of various reasons. Hence, we have to depend on some the binary variable 0 or 1, yes or no. Would you like to purchase a motorcycle or car? Yes or no. So in this way, when the dependent variable is yes, no, we have to apply another topic, that means methodology, that is known as logistic regression. Okay, logistic regression. Now, two models are there, logic model and probit model. Now, when the binary response variable is related to two outcomes, yes or no, then we can apply logic or probit. But if the outcome is more than 2, then we have to take multinomial logistic model or ordinal logistic regression. Two types of regressions are there. One is multinomial logistic regression, when the binary response variable is more than 2 categories.
Yes, sir. Content, sir. Yes, yes.
Ordinal.
Dear participants, mute your audio. Some disturbance is coming. You do
it is creating some noise.
I will remove from the meeting, please. Sir, Kanchan, sir, we have only sir, we have only 15 minutes time. You go to the conclusion.
Okay.
15 minutes time is there. Okay.
Okay.
Carry on, sir.
Okay. I'm trying. So what I told, if we have two binary outcome, yes or no, we have to apply logic model or probit model. If we have more than 2 outcome, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be, sometimes we take the decisions from ordinal approach. That would you like to take? Is it do you agree or like slightly agree or strongly agree? So if we have more than 2 outcome, binary outcome, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, then we have to apply the multinomial logistic regression. And another tool is ordinal logistic regression. Now, what is the difference? The nominal response. The difference is this: in the ordinal logistic regression, we can give some order. Which one is first? Which comes in second, third, in this way. But in multinomial logistic regression, we cannot able to give any order. Okay. So when we know that the nominal response variable are binary in nature, We have logistic regression model. When the nominal response categorical variable are 3 or more, okay, we have multinomial logistic regression. When the nominal response variables are ordered or ranked, we have ordinal logistic regression. Now, suppose at the time of data collection, suppose you have asked the respondent, the lockdown and social distancing is the only way to fight against corona pandemic. The response is given strongly disagree to this type of format. There must be some independent variable or predictors which may influence the decision. For example, gender, age, profession, income, etc. In which some categories and some are continuous type. Similarly, suppose the question or issue is smoking reduces lifespan by at least 3 years, 3 to 5 years, more than 5 years. You can classify 3 means low, medium, and high. The predictors are like gender, age, education, income, like this. Suppose you are going to investigate the association between use of mask and hand sanitizer to prevent COVID-19 threat. The answer may be given no association, minor association, major association. Again, the predictor may be gender, age, education, location, etc. Now, our hypothetical example is this, that the experience or satisfaction in staying home during the lockdown period, the responses may be very bad, or mixed, or good, suppose like this. So we have to code the values from the lowest to highest, 1, 2, and 3. And the independent variable, you can formulate this model. Independent variable may be gender, age, type of job. Is it in the informal sector or not? Etc. Which is, and in which gender is binary variable for male 1 and female 0. Though there is no hard and fast rule that you have to put male as 1 and 0 as female. The reverse is also true. Type of job is also binary, 1 for informal sector and 0 for other. Age is the ratio scale variable. So this is our hypothetical data. Suppose this is the experience. Experience means experience in the lockdown period within home. Experience is classified from very bad to more or less good. Now, how can we run the ordinal logistic regression in SPSS? Suppose we are taking this data, okay, or we are taking the data from Excel. Sorry, Excel. Our chi-square data, you take this data, copy, go through SPSS software. Okay, data view, click, right click, paste. Okay, the variable view. Variable 1 is experience. Variable 1 is experience. Suppose experience. Variable 2 is type of job. So variable 2 is job. You write here in this way. Variable 3 is data view. Age, education, age. Variable 4, education, gender, right? Okay, now these are all string, experience, ordinal, numeric, all are numeric. Click OK, numeric, because we have given some values, numeric, okay, numeric, okay. These are the process or procedure you have to follow if you want to formulate research on this issue, on this type of issue. Okay. Now you come to here, the measure. This is not nominal. We have given ordinal number. This is job. Job may be taken as nominal because 1 or 0 dummy variable. This is ratio scale variable, age. This is education, age. This is gender. Gender is also suppose nominal variable. Okay. Now go to analyze. Analyze regression, ordinal regression. You have to put the dependent variable is experience, give dependent variable experience, dependent variable. Similarly, age here, education here. We can take, since this is dummy variable, we can take here also. Okay. Now go to options. Option, there is no change options. Continue. Output, you want to take these parameters, summary statistics, goodness of fit. Okay. Location, okay, main effects not needed. Scale, we want to take main effect, age, education, generation, job, like this. Continue. Okay. Now click OK. The result is like this. You have to explain the result. The case processing summary, that means in different types of experience category, the number of the marginal percentage. Model fitting information, this is intercept only. That means this is null model if we do not include any independent variable, and if we include the independent variable, the chi-square statistic shows there is an improvement. If we include, our model has an improvement over the null model. This is the goodness of fit. Next table, Pearson deviance. Remember, the non-significance of Pearson and deviance implies the model fits the data, or the data fits the model well. Non-significance of Pearson and deviance. Pseudo R-square, this is very controversial whether we can use that R-square, pseudo R-square or not. But the parameter estimate, look, this is significance level. The estimated parameter means if with 1 unit increase of the independent variable, what is the expected log odds of the dependent variable. For example, if there is increase of 1 unit increase of the age, okay, age here, come to not location, here scale variable. So 1 unit increase of age, the log odds for the dependent variable declines. The probability of log odds declines. Okay, only this extent we can able to say in this classify that whether it is declines or not. If we want to calculate that how much we have to take another step, that I am coming. Similarly, with the increases of education by 1 unit, the log odds in favor of low value to high value of dependent variable increases. That means from less level of satisfaction or bad level of satisfaction to good level of satisfaction increases if education increases. Similarly, job and other things we have to explain. You can also run this by applying in this way also. Analyze generalized model, generalized linear model, generalized linear model. Click generalized linear model. Click here ordinal logistic regression. This is the type of model. Response, dependent variable. Click here dependent variable. Similarly, predictor variables. Click here predictor variable. Click one thing and take control other thing. Okay. It will come here. Similarly, model type of main effects. This main effect, age, education, the gender. If you want to calculate the interaction, the education and gender, or any the job and age, or any interaction, you can take this one, and interaction. You want to investigate the interaction also. Estimation, nothing can be changed in estimation. Okay. The estimation will come. Sorry, one thing I forgot. Actually, analyze generalized linear model. Okay. Statistics, we have to give exponential parameter estimate. Include exponential parameter estimates. Okay, this is very, very important. And likelihood log, not word test, likelihood ratio test. Click here. Now the result is this is the result. This exponential value of B is nothing but the odds ratio. If this, remember, if this odds ratio is greater than 1, it implies with the 1 unit increase of the independent variable, the probability of the dependent variable falling in the higher level will increase. Okay. If the value of expected value of b, that means odds ratio is less than 1, it means with the increases of this independent variable, the expected or predicted or the probability of the dependent variable falling towards low value to higher value will decrease. The probability will decrease. Okay, in this way we have to explain the result. Explanation of the result is very important thing. Okay, now coming to another thing, count data regression model. Upendra sir,
Sir, tell me, sir.
how much time is left?
Yeah, 5 minutes, sir. 10 minutes is there, sir.
I mean, okay, then I'm just read out to this count data regression model. Another type of regression model is count data.
We have many questions are there, sir. Actually, this is a session for the question. You conclude within 5 minutes, sir.
Okay.
Right, sir.
Coming another type of regression, that is count data regression. Okay. Count data regression. Okay. In many situations, the dependent variable or the regression is of the count type, such as the number of visits to a doctor in a year, the number of accidents took place in a year, the number of cars passing through the toll booth. Similarly, sometimes count data include rare or infrequent occurrences, getting hit by lightning in a span or a week, winning a lottery in 2 successive weeks, number of appointments to schools as the teacher made by central government, the number of alpha particles emitted per minute by a radioactive substance. The underlying variable in each case is discrete, taking only a finite non-negative number of values. All these are examples of count outcomes. A unique feature of these examples is that they take a finite number of negative integer or counts or values. In many cases, the count is 0 also. Another important thing is that the count example is measured over a certain finite time period, say per day, per hour, per minute, per month, etc. Such type of model, how can we estimate? So we have to estimate through Poisson probability regression model or Poisson regression model. It is known as Poisson regression model. I'm not going through how the model looks. Suppose COVID death, given one hypothetical example, the COVID death depends on HDI, Human Development Index, given by UNDP. So maybe level of this measures the level of development, may be one of the important indicators for death. Health expenditure, government health expenditure, number of physicians per million population, number of hospital beds per million population, ages 65 and older. So these may influence the COVID death. Okay. So suppose we are using this data for the calculation of Poisson regression. Okay. Poisson regression. This is next. Point 7 coming to ordinal chi-square. After that, not coming. Okay, just take the data. Where it is written? Excel. I am taking from here. I don't know whether it will accept or not. Suppose you have to import this data in the software. Okay, we want to calculate, estimate the count data. Copy. I'm going to data. Not taking. You have to take the data. I'm not getting the data actually. Page 7. You have to import the data. Page 6. Poisson distribution. Up to ordinal, like this. Okay, count data. Okay, suppose count data. This is count data. Copy. This is data software. Data editor. Paste. Treat first row. first row. Okay, so this is the data taken in the software data. COVID date, HDI. In this way, you can import the data also. Now we have to calculate. Suppose exit. How to calculate? Go to statistics. Go to count outcome. Go to Poisson relation. Okay. The dependent variable. Which one is dependent variable? Dependent variable is COVID death. Give the name of the independent variable. HDI, health expenditure, number of physicians per million population, number of hospital beds, age 65 and older. Okay. Now click OK. Now click OK. Okay. So the result has come. It is the result shows that with 1 unit increase of the HDI value, the log of odds, that means log of counts, will decline by this extent. Log of counts means log of the COVID death will decline. Similarly, with health expenditure increases by 1 unit, the log of counts will increase. Though this is hypothetical data, don't take it as based on empirical data. So in this way, we can calculate Poisson relation model also. Now finally, just last thing I want to show, that survival data. Survival analysis is also known as the duration analysis, transition analysis, failure time analysis. In health economics, we can able to apply after admission, the patient survived or not. Financial economics, we can apply that loan performance, borrowers obtain loan and they either default or continue to repay their loans. Industrial economics, we have firms, especially micro or small scales, survived or exit from the industry. In agricultural economics, adoption of new technology in production, or like this. These are the given examples. Okay, so the subjects are tracked.
Yes,
Sir. Sir. So this is the example. Sir, pardon. Upendra sir. I'm more or less finished. Just showing one data. It is also hypothetical data. You can also able to run this type of data. Suppose collect the number of patients admitted, the date of admission and date of release, and what type of treatment they have been given, normal treatment or oxygen or ventilation or something, the group, the gender, okay, gender value male 1, female 0, you can value, age, number of days staying, co-disease, whether that particular patient has the pressure, blood pressure, blood sugar or not, and the collapse or released, survived during the time period. So this type of data can be analyzed with the help of survival data set in Stata. Okay, so not going to, so due to lack of time, you have to go through the statistics, you have to survival analysis and set up an utilities, and declare data. After getting the importing the data, first task is to declare data to be survival time data. After that, you can follow the other instructions, that summary statistics, summaries of survival time data. Actually, it shows the level of survival time period. 50% of the population under this condition survive up to this extent or something like this. This time, survival time is being calculated, estimated in this way. So that's all for today. Thank you, everyone, for your patience listening. Okay, Upendra sir.
Madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Really in-depth and informative session for us with a relevant example, sir. Thank you a lot, sir, for being with us today. And I request the participants, if you have any queries, you can raise your queries to the resource person, unmute yourself, one after the other, you can raise the question. Please.
Yeah, participant, just now I shared feedback from Google chat box. You fill. I don't share your mail ID or Telegram app. You don't do message to personal my WhatsApp and Telegram. You fill here. Thank you. Yes. If you have any questions, you can ask the sir.
Upendra sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I want to announce one thing.
Yes, sir.
That regarding that YouTube channel, I have started that YouTube channel where I have uploaded 19 videos so far. All are related to research methodology with an intention that it may helpful for the beginners
Yes,
in
sir.
research.
Sir, I have your email ID, sir. I subscribe your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know.
I will share. I will share to Telegram app, sir.
Yeah, I want to convey all the participants here. So I hope that you will get little bit idea.
Yes,
Now
sir.
there is no shortcut method to learn everything. More you practice, more you can learn. More you read, more you can learn. But at least you
Yes,
can get little bit idea how this can be
yes, sir.
performed. Another thing I forgot to say, that these are the different process, theoretical process: research formulation, hypothesis, literature survey, then collection of data. But my suggestion is, first, your first task is to learn how to run the software by this empirical example. This is collection of collect your software, install your software, and you learn how the different types of models can be estimated with the help of software. After that, you select that on the basis how to collect the data, how to apply this technique in your own area, in your own district, because sometimes it is not possible for us to move here and there, especially in this situation also. Near about, if we can able to collect from our near hospital the data, the COVID hospital, or if you can able to collect some district primary school board regarding education related matter. So in this way, from little information, by applying small tools, we can develop our knowledge path. This is my suggestion. So no one built in one day in that way. One day, if you proceed in this way, if we proceed in this way, because the researchers are also learner, I'm also trying to learn day by day. So in this way, if we learn, I think that we can able to be a good teacher. And only just by taking class in the class, just by finishing the syllabus, it is monotonous at one time. After some time, it will feel that, oh, it is the same thing we are doing. Our main activity is to engage or involve ourselves in research activities. If we really want to enjoy our profession, we have to be very fully engaged in this type of research, in this type of preparation of new paper, presenting in seminar, that we can enjoy our profession.
Yes, sir. Sir, just you do one thing, sir. In chat box, type your mail ID. Then they
Uh,
can subscribe your channel, sir. In chat box, you just type your channel name. They can easily subscribe,
okay.
sir. Yeah. Any questions, madam? You can read out. Hello.
Not getting the chat box.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You can. Any questions are there? Otherwise, madam, you can read out, madam. A few questions.
Okay. I think Casey had been put a question, sir. He's in
Yes.
the webinar itself. Vinod, if you have the question, you can directly ask to the sir.
I would like to know if any other platform or application for this investment management, portfolio management, like in Excel or something like that. A tool for investment management, personal investment management.
Now for management, what type of tools you want to apply? That is the important.
Investment management. I think investment management.
Investment
Portfolio.
portfolio management is based on time series data. Now for time series data, only few things you can able to apply. That means exponential smoothing and moving average. Only this technique. Otherwise, you have to depend on eViews or this type of software where time series data we can able to apply. Okay, for
Can you
forecasting
give
purpose.
any YouTube channel or website for that? Can you
Yeah,
put in?
you just search this one, you will get lot of things, lot of day by day new things are coming. Don't worry. And another thing is, don't think that your supervisor or professor or something like this can teach you. You self learning is the best learning. What Vivekananda told us, that everybody has the knowledge pot within himself or herself. That mentor is just open the lid of that knowledge pot. If you want that, I want to learn, definitely you can learn.
Sir,
Definitely.
any tool for investment and management in Excel or any other application?
No, I think that in Excel, no limited capacity. So investment management may be the how can we take the decision to invest. For investing this decision, you have to forecast on the basis of the previous investment pattern or previous return pattern. And for forecasting
P-
this return pattern, Excel does not provide you the forecasting pattern. You have to
PBS,
depend on some professional software. I think you can
PBS,
eViews. You can start eViews. There are so many
reviews.
models such as GARTS model, so Arch model, GARTS model, ARIMA model, ARIMA forecasting model, VAR model. So many models are there. On the basis of this model, you can forecast what is the predicted change or coming portfolio so that we can able to invest there or something like this. I think so.
Yes.
E-views.
E-views. E-views.
E-views.
Yes.
E-views.
EBUUSC.
E-V-I-E-W-S.
Oh, okay.
E-V-I-W-E-I-E-W-S.
Right. Any questions?
Good afternoon, sir.
Nothing. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, right.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my name is Ajay Kumar. I'm faculty from Vijayanagar College of Commerce, Hyderabad. My question is with regard to sampling frame errors. So, as a researcher, what are the things we need to take care in case of sampling frame errors? Can you light on these queries, sir? To reduce
Sampling?
these type of sampling frame errors.
Sampling frame.
Sampling
Yes,
frame
sir.
errors.
Sampling.
Sir, tell me, Ajay sir, how to remove the sampling error? Your question is that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So to reduce the sampling error
Sir, I will add some more points, sir. Ajay
Okay.
sir, if you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
the
please,
reduce
sir,
the
please.
sampling, yes, sir. Ajay sir, I'm adding some more points. If
Sir,
you want the reduce,
sir, one thing, sir, I want to make it very clear. As a researcher, we must to take care in reducing the sampling frame errors. So,
Yes.
what are the things to be taken care of? Can
Yes,
you
sir.
please
Yes,
write down
first-
this to us? Yes, sir.
sir, if you want to reduce the sampling error, we have to increase the sample, sir. Then we can reduce the error, sir.
yeah, this is the shortcut
Exact
method.
answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you want to reduce the sampling error, we have to increase the sample size. Then we can reduce the error.
Yeah.
Can you
Yes.
suggest some of the measures, sir, for that? What would be the measures we can take for this?
Just we
What
have
would
to
be the?
increase the sample size, sir.
Yeah,
Suppose you
increase the
have-
sample size that,
Yeah,
that
if
may
you-
reduce the sampling
Suppose
error.
if you have 100 samples, sir, suppose your error is coming, just increase maybe another 50, another 200, 500, like that. Then you can reduce the error, sir.
Okay, sir, thank you.
And
Okay,
another
right.
thing is, suppose for particular variable, you thought that the result is not coming, maybe some sampling error, or maybe this variable is related to error term. You can apply one tool that is known as instrumental variable tool. 2SLS, two-stage least square instrumental variable tool is very appropriate to reduce this type of problem. Suppose you have some problem with wage or earnings when the independent variable is education. Okay, education. Suppose you think that there may be some error in the measurement of education data. So you can take, instead of education of that particular respondent, you can take their parents' education. The parents' education may be taken as instrumental variable, and you can apply 2SLS, two-stage least square method, for solving this. And in Stata, you can easily solve this 2SLS method, instrumental variable method. You can easily eradicate this type of error, measurement error, something like this.
Now it is very clear, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir. Yes. Any questions?
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is Dr. B. Sridevi from Kottagudam, sir.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
I have one doubt regarding to R programming or SPS, which is most suitable for data analysis.
Look, one thing, I have not learned R because of so many commands, and I feel some complexities in R. But the whatever maybe the software you use, SPSS, data, that is not the important thing. The most important thing is our explanation. The software just provide the result. How accurately we can interpret the result. That is the most important thing. There may be some advantages in R. There may be some advantages in SPSS also, or something like this. That is my personal feeling. So the important thing is we should concentrate on interpretation, whether it is coming from SPSS or Stata or R, whatever it may be. Which the software you feel comfortable, definitely you go for that one.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Any questions? Yes. Participants, if you don't have any question, we can go for the vote of thanks. Yeah. Swati madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Carry on.
Okay, sir. I feel immense pleasure to take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks on the behalf of MBA department. I thanked our management of Mother Teresa College of Engineering and Technology for always encouraging us and providing an opportunity to organize such events. I further extend the thanks to Dr. E. Upender, the HOD of MBA department, for playing a key role in organizing this session. A heartfelt thanks to staff and HODs of other departments for supporting us. A special thanks to the eminent resource person, Dr. Kanchan Datta sir, who made this session an astounding success with a valuable presence. Thank you a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Last but not
Thank you,
least,
ma'am.
all the participants who been with us with a lot of patience and made this an immense one. Thank you one and all for being with us today.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yes.
again.
Thank you all. You can leave now. If you fill the feedback forms, you can. Thank you.
Thank you,
Kanchan sir.
Thank you, Upendra sir. Thank you. You are so dynamic,
Okay,
and
okay.
the ma'am
Thank
also. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Once
Madam, you
again,
can.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, leaving my
Okay, sir.
then I'm
Thank you, sir.
okay.
Yeah, you can.
Can
Sir.
I leave?
Yeah, you can, sir. You
Upendra
can.
sir?
Madam,
Okay.
you can also leave, madam. Madam. Yes.
We can leave,
You can
sir?
leave, madam. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, madam. Yes. Participants, you can leave. The session is completed. You can leave now.